The Hex Gaming Rival Controller featured in today's review was provided courtesy of Hex Gaming. While the PS5 remains elusive to get as we cross into the second half of 2021, there is no shortage of available DualSense controllers. While the DualSense may be the first PlayStation controller I have absolutely enjoyed, I know it doesn't cater well to the competitive player with all of its bells and whistles. That is, until now, as custom controller makers Hex Gaming have turned their attention to the DualSense and given it the eSports makeover treatment. The Hex Gaming Rival Controller comes in a fairly bland box with only the Hex Gaming logo and controller name being displayed. The sides are also bare of any information about the controller, while the back sheds light on the design process. Inside the box you will find your Rival controller, swappable thumbsticks, warranty info, and finally a quick start guide. Since Hex Gaming uses the official DualSense controller as a base, the Rival controller shares the same profile and basic layout. That being said, Hex Gaming has customized every aspect of the controller from its shell to its buttons. They have 17 different options to choose from as of this review. I love the contrast between the glossy and matte finishes on my Nebula Galaxy version. It looks sleek and doesn't feel cheap by any stretch of the imagination. I do miss the transparent design of the DualSense's buttons and D-pad, but what we have here matches the aesthetic well. I do wish the buttons could have been labeled in some fashion though. The addition of better textured grips is also a welcomed addition. Besides the visual overhaul, the Rival controller is sporting a number of upgrades over the official DualSense. The first is the addition of 2 mappable buttons that have been added to the back of the controller. These buttons are easy to map to any of the controller's buttons, allowing you quick access and on-the-fly customization in games. The placement is also superb, with the paddles being perfectly usable with either your middle or ring fingers depending on your playstyle. They have a satisfying click to them as well, which makes pressing them all the more enjoyable. Each of the shoulder buttons has been redesigned, giving them faster response times. Hex Gaming refers to these as flash shot triggers, and they reduce the range on R1 and L1 by 0.7mm, and the range on R2 and L2 by 5mm. This allows for faster firing of these buttons, ideal for competitive players. This does come at the cost of the impulse triggers and use in things like racing games. But the Rival controller is focused solely on eSports, so it shouldn't be used in such titles to begin with. Finally, swappable thumb caps have been added for you to fine-tune your playing experience with regular and tall, concave and convex variants included. The overall build quality of the Rival controller is solid and matches that of an official DualSense. I have little concern over the back paddles, and the modified triggers feel solid in the hands. Unless you are an absolute brutalist to your equipment, this one should serve you well through normal wear and tear. The Hex Gaming Rival controller can be used with both the PlayStation 5 and PC in supported titles. Since the primary focus of the Rival is for eSports, I immediately put it up against some Apex Legends. I have been alternating between the official DualSense and an Xbox Series X controller for the last few weeks as I have played on PC, and the upgrades Hex Gaming has brought with the Rival controller are immediately noticeable by comparison. Swapping the thumbstick configuration over to a tall concave stick for aiming and a regular convex stick for movement is my typical go-to from a pro-style controller, and the Rival doesn't disappoint. Aiming feels great with the extended stick, and having 2 rear paddles is perfect for quick mapping some additional actions. There is a bit less grip than I would like on the dome sticks, but it works out overall. To me, face buttons and D-pad are identical in feel to a standard DualSense, so they present no problem during gameplay. While shooters are what I feel will be the primary use for the Rival controller, the customized build can do well in a number of competitive genres, like fighting games for those who prefer gamepads over fight sticks. The D-pad is accurate and responds well to input, which makes it ideal for getting in your combos. Thanks to the quick response of the triggers, it's also much easier to get your moves in using them. Now, even though eSports is the primary focus of the Rival controller, it can be used in any number of titles that don't require the use of analog triggers. Across an assortment of games, it has turned in a great performance. Being able to use the different thumb caps depending on the genre is always a plus. To further expand the Rival controller's compatibility on PC, users can choose to install the DS4Windows program. With it installed, all X-input titles are now supported by the controller, and you can even use the trackpad as a mouse. This certainly opens the door for more use for players looking to get more out of the Rival's near $300 price point. As far as my personal complaints with the Rival controller, I don't have much to say. The thumbstick grips could be improved upon to give better handling, but I think my biggest complaint is that my unit seems to have a battery drain issue. After fully charging it and leaving it unplugged over the past weekend while I was out of town, the controller is completely dead. My official DualSense, which I haven't charged in a week, is still alive. Might just be a bug in my rival controller, but something I still want to bring up. The Hex Gaming Rival Controller is an amazing customization job to the official DualSense controller. It performs well in games it is meant for, and for anyone looking to get into the competitive scene, it is well worth looking into. But for the more casual player, the asking price is a bit steep, and one I know I wouldn't have paid personally. So look deeply into your play habits and decide if the rival controller is for you. If you think so, you won't be disappointed. And that is the Hex Gaming Rival Controller, an awesome customization job on the DualSense, and just a fantastic performer overall, albeit expensive. Big shout out to our friends at Hex Gaming for letting me check this one out. Again, just awesome controller, but you're going to really need to decide if you are in the market for this type of pricing for a pro controller for the PS5 or PC. But what do you all think about the Hex Gaming Rival Controller? Do you think it is an awesome customization job? Do you think that it is something that you could be using for your gaming needs? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But anyways, thank you all so much again for watching today's review. Every minute you spend here on our channel is just such a difference maker for the growth and trajectory that we are reaching, and just huge thank you to all of you for that. But now I have a couple of favors to ask you. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit that like or dislike button, just depending on how much you like today's review. And if you haven't done so already, hit that sub button so you can see when new reviews, tutorials, quick compares, any other concoction of random nonsense I come up with goes live. Again, goes a long way to helping with that whole growth thing that I mentioned a second ago, and just thank you all so much again. If you'd like to further help support the channel, you can also check out that join button here on YouTube or the Patreon link in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Let's take a minute to recognize all of our amazing champions who are just so freaking awesome for helping back what we do here and believing in it. We just appreciate you all so very much. But that's going to do it for this one. So until next time, my wonderful internet peeps, you all stay awesome, and we'll see you back next video.